The last person I wanted to see at my father's funeral was my sister, but there she was, perfect as always in her tailored black dress, accepting condolences like a queen holding court. I stood in the corner of the funeral home, clutching my worn leather portfolio like a shield. My name is Amelia, and I've spent my entire life being the Santos sister who never quite measured up. Darling, you made it! My mother's voice carried across the room, drawing unwanted attention. She rushed over, her face pinched with worry. Though really, couldn't you have worn something more appropriate? I glanced down at my black dress. Perfectly funeral appropriate, just not designer like Alicia's. Hi, Mom. Yes, I made it. Amelia. Alicia's voice cut through the murmur of conversations. She glided over, her surgeon's hands clasped elegantly in front of her. I was beginning to wonder if you'd show up at all. Of course I came. He was my father, too. Was he? When was the last time you visited him at the hospital? Her words were razor sharp, meant to draw blood. Too busy with your art? Before I could respond, Knox, Dad's lawyer, appeared at my elbow. Amelia, could I have a moment? She's always had a moment for everyone except family, Alicia announced loudly enough for nearby mourners to hear. Did you know she missed Dad's last birthday because of some gallery showing? My cheeks burned. It wasn't just some showing. It was my first solo exhibition, which sold exactly 0 pieces, if I remember correctly. Alicia's smile was surgical precision. At least when I'm absent, it's because I'm saving lives. Ladies, Knox interrupted. This isn't the time or place. Mom wrung her hands. Alicia's right, though. Your father was so disappointed, Amelia. If you'd just chosen a real career like your sister... The familiar weight of their disappointment pressed down on my shoulders. I watched as Angelo, my childhood friend, approached with concern in his eyes. His wife, Reese, followed close behind. Hey, how about we all take a breath? Angelo suggested, placing himself between me and my sister. We're here to remember your father. Oh yes, let's remember him, Alicia continued, her voice dripping with false sweetness. Let's remember how he spent his last years wondering why his younger daughter couldn't be bothered to visit more than twice a year. How he had to explain to his friends why you weren't at family functions, why you couldn't just be normal. Enough! Knox's voice was sharp enough to silence the room. Robert wouldn't have wanted this. I turned to leave, but Alicia grabbed my arm. Running away again? You're such an embarrassment. You couldn't even dress properly for Dad's funeral. I yanked my arm free. At least I'm genuine. When was the last time you were real about anything, Alicia? The room fell silent. Even the funeral director stopped arranging flowers to watch. Get out, Alicia hissed. You don't deserve to be here. I looked to my mother for support, but she was already turning away, patting Alicia's arm consolingly. The familiar ache of rejection bloomed in my chest. Come on, Angela whispered, touching my elbow. I'll walk you out. As we headed for the door, Knox caught up with us. Amelia, wait. He pressed an envelope into my hands. Your father asked me to give you this, privately. I stared at the envelope, thick, cream-colored, with my name written in Dad's shaky handwriting. What is it? I asked. Knox glanced over his shoulder at Alicia, who was now surrounded by sympathetic mourners. Open it when you're alone. And Amelia? His eyes met mine. Your father was proud of you, more than you know. I clutched the envelope to my chest, next to my portfolio. Angelo squeezed my shoulder. Want me to drive you home? I shook my head. I need to walk, clear my head. Call me if you need anything, he said, while Reese nodded encouragingly behind him. Outside, the autumn air was crisp and clean. I could hear the murmur of voices through the funeral home's open windows, Alicia's laugh rising above the rest. My fingers traced the edges of the envelope. Whatever was inside, Dad had wanted me to have it. Not perfect Alicia, not our enabling mother, me. For the first time that day, I felt something other than shame and inadequacy. I felt curious, and maybe, just maybe, a little powerful. I took one last look at the funeral home, at the shadow of my sister moving behind the windows, and started walking. The envelope seemed to pulse with possibility in my hands, like a key waiting to unlock something I never knew I needed. Dad's final message to me. What secrets had he been keeping, and why had he chosen me to receive them? I picked up my pace, eager to get home and find out. My hands trembled as I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the envelope. 3 cups of tea had gone cold, and still, I couldn't bring myself to open it. The sun had set, casting long shadows across my small apartment, when my phone buzzed. "Did you open it yet?" Angelo's voice was gentle but insistent. "No." "Want me to come over?" I hesitated. Yes, no, maybe. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. True to his word, Angelo arrived with a pizza and a determined look. He set it down and pulled up a chair beside me. "Okay, enough stalling. Open it." I carefully broke the seal and pulled out several papers. On top was a handwritten letter. "My dearest Amelia," I read aloud, my voice catching. "If you're reading this, I'm gone, and Knox has fulfilled his promise to deliver this to you, and only you." Angelo leaned forward. "Go on." "There's a key taped to the back of this letter. It opens Safety Deposit Box 247 at First National downtown. What you'll find there will change everything. But before you go, you need to understand why I'm trusting you with this." I flipped the letter over. Sure enough, a small key was secured with clear tape. "Your sister isn't who everyone thinks she is. Neither was I. Make things right, Butterfly." "Butterfly?" Angelo asked. "Dad's nickname for me when I was little, before Alicia became the golden child." I set the letter down. "What am I supposed to do with this?" "Obviously, you need to go to the bank." "And walk into whatever mess Dad's dumping on me? No thanks. I've had enough family drama for one lifetime." I pushed the letter away. Angelo grabbed it before it could slide off the table. "The man's dead, Amelia. If he wanted you to know something, don't you think you owe it to him to find out what?" "I owe him? Where was he when Alicia was destroying my art show opening? When Mom was telling everyone I was throwing my life away?" "Right here." Angelo tapped the letter. "Planning whatever this is. For you." My phone buzzed again. A text from Mom. "Alicia's hosting a family dinner tomorrow. She expects you to attend and apologize for your behavior." I showed Angelo the message. He rolled his eyes. "Perfect timing. What are you going to do?" "The bank opens at 9, I said, surprising myself. "Want to come with me?" Morning found us standing outside First National, watching employees file in. Angelo squeezed my hand. "Ready?" The bank manager, a woman named Patricia, led us to the vault area. "I'm sorry for your loss," she said, checking my ID. "Your father was a valued customer." The safety deposit box was larger than I expected. Patricia left us in a private viewing room, where I inserted the key with shaking hands. "Holy shit," Angelo whispered as I lifted the lid. Inside were folders, USB drives, and what looked like medical records. The top folder was labeled Malpractice AS. "AS," Angelo said. "Alicia Santos?" I opened the folder. Photos spilled out. Medical charts, internal hospital memos, and handwritten notes. My stomach churned as I read. "This can't be right," I muttered, but each document confirmed the last. Alicia covered up a botched surgery. The patient, oh God, she ended up paralyzed. "Ava Weaver," Angelo read over my shoulder. "Age 28, routine procedure gone wrong." Dad knew, he knew, and he... I couldn't finish the sentence. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Mom. "Alicia's waiting for your response about dinner." Angelo touched my arm. Amelia, you okay? I stared at the evidence in my hands. Perfect Alicia. Successful Alicia. The sister who could do no wrong. What am I supposed to do with this? My voice sounded hollow. Whatever you decide, Angelo said carefully. It needs to be for the right reasons, not revenge. Revenge? I laughed, but it came out more like a sob. Dad didn't give this to me for revenge. He wanted the truth to come out. Maybe, but he also knew it would hurt Alicia and your mom. Are you ready for that? I gathered everything back into the box, except for one folder. I need to think. Want me to drive you home? No. I clutched the folder to my chest. I need to do some research first. Find out who Ava Weaver is. Angelo frowned. Be careful, once you start down this road. I know. I managed a weak smile. But Dad called me Butterfly. Maybe it's time I caused a hurricane. As we left the bank, I texted Mom back. Tell Alicia I'll be at dinner tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about. The folder felt heavy in my bag, like it was made of lead instead of paper. But for the first time since Dad's death, maybe for the first time in years, I felt something else too. Purpose. Finding Ava wasn't hard. Her Instagram profile was filled with before and after photos. Before the surgery, standing on mountain peaks, running marathons. After, confined to a wheelchair, but still smiling in most shots. Her latest post showed her at a physical therapy session, caption reading, Day 847, still fighting. I sat in my car outside her apartment building, gripping the folder. A text from Angelo lit up my phone. Don't do anything stupid. Too late. I buzzed her apartment. Hello? Her voice was warm, curious. Hi, I'm Robert's daughter. Silence. Then, come up. Ava opened her door before I could knock. She wheeled back to let me in, her movements precise and practiced. I wondered if you'd ever find out. You knew my father? He visited me every month for the past year. She gestured to a photo on her wall, her and Dad at what looked like a cafe. He was gathering evidence. I pulled out the folder. About Alicia. Ava's face hardened. About your sister, yes, the brilliant Dr. Santos, who couldn't admit she made a mistake. She wheeled to her kitchen. Want some coffee? This might take a while. Over coffee, Ava told me everything. The routine spinal surgery, the error, the cover-up. She came to see me after, Ava said, hands wrapped around her mug. Offered me money to keep quiet. Said it would be better for everyone. Did you take it? I did. I was scared, in pain, and she made it sound like my only option. Ava's laugh was bitter. Your father found me 6 months later. He'd noticed discrepancies in the hospital records. My phone buzzed. Mom again. Dinner's at 7. Wear something nice. What are you going to do? Ava asked. I showed her the text. Have dinner with my sister, apparently. That's not what I meant. I know. I stood up, gathering the documents. Can I come back? Talk more? Ava nodded. Your father wanted justice, Amelia, not revenge. Remember that. I barely made it home in time to change. My black dress from yesterday wouldn't do. Alicia would see it as another slight. I chose a blue cocktail dress instead, one I'd bought for my gallery opening but never worn. Alicia's house was exactly what you'd expect. Modern, minimalist, perfect, like her. Mom's car was already in the driveway. You came. Alicia opened the door, martini in hand. And you're almost on time. Mom hurried over. Darling, you look presentable. Thanks, Mom. Really feeling the love. Alicia led us to her dining room. I thought we should clear the air after yesterday's unpleasantness. Unpleasantness? I set my bag down carefully, the folder inside feeling like a bomb. Is that what we're calling it? Amelia, Mom warned. No, let her speak. Alicia sipped her martini. I'm sure she has plenty to say about how unfair everything is. I thought of Ava, of her wheelchair, of Dad visiting her month after month. Actually, I wanted to ask you about a patient, Ava Weaver. The martini glass froze halfway to Alicia's lips. What? Ring any bells? Routine spinal surgery? About 2 years ago? Mom looked confused. Alicia, what's she talking about? Nothing. Alicia's voice was sharp. It's nothing. I pulled out the folder. Dad didn't think it was nothing. The color drained from Alicia's face. Where did you get that? Does it matter? What matters is what's inside. I opened it, laid out the photos, the documents. Want to tell Mom about it, or should I? Alicia? Mom picked up a photo. What is this? It's lies. Alicia stood up so fast her chair fell backward. Whatever Dad told you, whatever you think you know, I know you paralyzed a woman and paid her to keep quiet. My voice was steady, calmer than I felt. I know Dad found out and spent the last year of his life gathering evidence. Mom's hands were shaking. Tell me this isn't true. Of course it's not true. Alicia grabbed the folder. This is just Amelia trying to ruin everything, like always. No. I stood up too. This is me finally seeing you clearly, the perfect daughter, the brilliant surgeon. It's all a lie, isn't it? Alicia threw her martini glass. It shattered against the wall behind me, sending gin and glass everywhere. Get out! Gladly. I grabbed my bag. But this isn't over. Is that a threat? I thought of Ava's smile in her Instagram photos, of her determination to keep fighting. No, it's a promise. To Dad, to make things right. I left them there, Alicia screaming, Mom crying, the evidence scattered across the perfect dining room table like shrapnel from an explosion. Outside, I texted Angelo. It's done. No going back now. His response came quickly. You okay? I wasn't, but for the first time in my life, I knew exactly what I had to do. Angelo's backyard was my safe haven growing up, and nothing had changed. I sat on the old swing set while he grilled burgers, Reese bringing out plates and condiments. You should have seen her face, I said, pushing myself gently back and forth, like her whole world was cracking. Good, Reese muttered, arranging tomato slices. Angelo flipped a burger. Maybe not good. Complicated. How is it complicated? Reese demanded. She paralyzed someone and covered it up. Because, Angelo said, giving me a pointed look, there's always more to the story. I pulled out my phone, showing them Alicia's latest text. If you pursue this, I'll destroy you. Remember who Mom believes. Charming, Reese said. She's scared, Angelo noted, plating the burgers. People do desperate things when they're scared. Like paralyze someone and cover it up? I couldn't keep the bitterness from my voice. No, like visiting that someone every month for a year. He sat down across from me. Your dad, I mean. Why do you think he did that? I took a bite of my burger to avoid answering, but Angelo waited me out. Because he wanted justice for Ava, I finally said. Try again. Because he wanted to expose Alicia? One more time. I set my burger down. Because he wanted to understand. Bingo. Angelo leaned forward. Look, I've known your family since we were kids. Your dad wasn't a vindictive man. If he spent a year gathering evidence, it wasn't just to bring Alicia down. Then what was it for? That's what you need to find out. My phone buzzed again, a text from Knox. We need to talk. Come to my office tomorrow. The plot thickens, Reese said, reading over my shoulder. Knox knows something, I said. He has to. Dad trusted him with everything. Including that envelope, Angelo reminded me. Maybe it's time to ask why. The next morning, Knox's office felt colder than usual. He waited until his secretary brought coffee before speaking. Your father came to me about Ava's case 18 months ago, he said, sliding a file across his desk. He wanted legal advice. About prosecuting Alicia? About protecting her. I nearly dropped my coffee. Protecting her? From what? Knox opened the file. From herself, from your mother, from the impossible standards that drove her to cover up a mistake instead of admitting she was human. That's not an excuse. No, it's not, but it is context. He pulled out a letter. Your mother's expectations nearly destroyed both her daughters. One turned to art to escape. The other, well, turned to perfection. I finished. At any cost. Knox's eyes were sad. Your father blamed himself. He thought if he'd stood up to your mother sooner, protected you both better. So what? I stood up, pacing. I'm supposed to feel sorry for Alicia now? After everything? You're supposed to understand her. That's what your father wanted. Knox handed me the letter. Read this. It's from him to Alicia. He never sent it. I scanned the pages, my hands shaking. My dearest Alicia, I watched you become what your mother wanted, but lost who you were meant to be. Every achievement became a prison, every success a new bar to reach. I failed you by staying silent. I failed both my butterflies by letting her clip your wings. He called her butterfly too? My voice cracked. You both were, before the competition started. Knox took back the letter. Your father's last wish wasn't about revenge, Amelia. It was about healing. It's too late for that. Is it? You have the evidence. You could destroy her career, her reputation, or what? Or you could help her face what she did, help her become human again. Knox smiled slightly. Your father believed you were the only one strong enough to do it. I sat back down, remembering Alicia's face at dinner, the fear behind her anger. She threatened me. Of course she did. She's terrified. Question is, what are you going to do about it? My phone lit up. A message from Ava. Heard you confronted your sister. Can we talk? I showed Knox the message. He nodded. Seems like the universe is trying to tell you something. Standing to leave, I asked, why did Dad choose me for this? Because you're the only one who ever dared to be imperfect. Knox's voice was gentle. And sometimes, that's the strongest thing we can be. Outside, I texted Ava back. Yes, but first, I need to understand something. Tell me about my sister. Not the doctor who hurt you, the person she was before. The response came quickly. Come over. Your father told me stories. You should hear them. I took a deep breath, thinking of two little butterflies, wings not yet clipped. Maybe Knox was right. Maybe understanding was the first step toward healing. Or maybe I was about to make the biggest mistake of my life. She used to draw, Ava said, showing me a sketch on her phone. Your father shared this with me. Said Alicia drew it when she was 16. The sketch showed two girls on a swing set. Clearly Alicia and me. The detail was incredible. The joy in our expressions captured perfectly. I had no idea she could draw, I whispered. Your father said she stopped when she started pre-med. Said your mom made her choose. Ava wheeled to her desk, pulling out more photos. He visited me so often, told me so many stories. I think he needed someone to remember who Alicia used to be. Why you? Because I was angry, like you are now. She smiled sadly. He thought if he could help me understand her, maybe I could find peace. Did you? Getting there. Ava handed me a journal. Your father gave me this last month, said if anything happened to him, I should share it with you. The journal was filled with Dad's handwriting, documenting conversations with hospital staff, with Alicia's colleagues, with Mom. A pattern emerged, one of relentless pressure, impossible standards, and a young doctor cracking under the weight of perfection. She was sleep-deprived, I read aloud, working 36-hour shifts. Mom was bragging about it at church. Keep reading. Hospital Review noted concerns about her mental state 3 weeks before my surgery. Administrator overruled because of her perfect record. Mother's influence on the board. My phone buzzed. Alicia calling. I declined it. She's been trying to reach you? Ava asked. Yeah, probably to threaten me more. Or maybe she's scared. Your father said fear was always her biggest motivator. Another buzz. A text this time. Please, we need to talk. Come to the hospital. She's at work, I told Ava. Wants me to meet her. Go. Ava took back the journal. But remember what your father learned. Understanding doesn't mean excusing. The hospital corridors felt sterile and oppressive. I found Alicia in her office, still in scrubs, looking exhausted. You came? She said, surprised. You asked. She closed the door. I performed 3 surgeries today. Perfect outcomes, all of them. Know what I thought about during each one? Ava? Her, every cut, every stitch. Alicia's hands trembled. I haven't made a mistake since her. Not one. Because I can't. Mom's on the board, everyone's watching, expecting perfection. Excellence, she spat the word. Mom's favorite. Excellence isn't optional, Alicia. Excellence is who we are. Who she wanted us to be, I corrected. You escaped. Alicia's laugh was hollow. Chose art, chose freedom. I chose this. You chose to cover up a mistake instead of admitting you're human. I chose to protect everything I'd worked for. She slammed her hand on the desk. Do you know what Mom would have done if what? If you'd shown weakness? Join the club, Alicia. I've been a disappointment since day one. And you're stronger for it. She slumped in her chair. Dad knew. He tried to tell me, tried to help, but I couldn't listen, couldn't risk everything I'd built. Built on what? Lies? Fear? Built on excellence. Her voice cracked. Always excellence. My phone buzzed again. Angelo, you okay? I have to go, I said, standing. Wait. Alicia grabbed my arm. What are you going to do? With the evidence? I looked at her. Really looked at her. The perfect surgeon, the golden child, the sister who used to draw. All those versions of her, trapped in a prison of excellence. I don't know yet, I answered honestly, but Dad didn't give me those files for revenge. Then why? Maybe to help you break free, like I did. Her grip tightened. By destroying my career? By facing the truth, starting with Ava. I can't. Fear flashed across her face. Mom would never. Mom's not the one who has to live with it. You are. I gently removed her hand. Think about it, about who you were before excellence became your cage. I left her there, surrounded by her medical degrees and awards, all the trappings of perfection she'd sacrificed everything for. Outside, I texted Angelo. I'm okay, but I think I finally understand what Dad was trying to do. And what's that? I thought of the sketch Ava showed me, of 2 sisters on a swing set, both still free to fly. Save both his butterflies. I wrote back, not just one. My phone lit up one more time. Alicia again. I found my old sketchbook, the one Mom made me burn. Except, I didn't burn it. Dad helped me hide it. I think I need to show you something. I stared at the message, feeling something shift inside me. Maybe understanding wasn't just the first step toward healing. Maybe it was the first step toward freedom. The sketchbook lay between us on Alicia's kitchen table, its pages yellow with age. Neither of us had touched it yet. Dad kept it in his study, Alicia said, hands wrapped around her 3rd cup of coffee, behind that awful painting Mom gave him. The hunting dogs? I almost smiled. He hated that thing. But Mom loved it, so up it went. Alicia reached for the sketchbook, then pulled back. I can't. Want me to? She nodded. The first sketch was of Mom, younger, laughing, an expression I barely recognized. Next came Dad in his garden, then me as a toddler, sleeping with my stuffed elephant. These are amazing, I whispered. They're nothing, just silly drawings. No, I turned another page. They're everything Mom tried to erase. Alicia flinched. My phone buzzed, a news alert. My heart stopped when I saw the headline, Prestigious Hospital Under Investigation. Anonymous source reveals malpractice cover-up. Alicia, she was already reading it on her own phone, face draining of color. No, no, no. I didn't do this, I said quickly. I swear. Then who? Her phone rang. Mom's name flashed on the screen. Don't answer it. I have to. She picked up. Mom? I could hear Mom's voice, shrill and panicked, through the speaker. Alicia put it on speakerphone. Disgraceful. The board is in emergency session. Tell me you can fix this. Mom, No excuses. You get to that hospital and handle this. Excellence isn't optional, Alicia. It's who we are. Alicia's hand trembled. I reached across the table and pressed the end call button. She's right, Alicia whispered. I have to go. Damage control. No. What? No more damage control. No more cover-ups. I opened my phone, showing her a new message from Ava. It wasn't me, but maybe it's time. She's right, I said. Maybe it's time to be human instead of excellent. Alicia's phone kept buzzing. Mom, the hospital, reporters. She stared at the sketchbook, at a drawing of herself as a teenager, paintbrush in hand, smile unguarded. I can't, she whispered. You can. We can. I pulled out Dad's letter from my bag. Read this. Dad wrote it before he died, but never sent it. She read silently, tears falling onto the paper. Her phone buzzed again. The hospital administrator. What do I do? Her voice was small, like when we were kids, and she'd ask me to check for monsters under her bed. We go to the hospital, together, and you tell the truth. Mom will never forgive me. Maybe, but you might finally forgive yourself. The hospital was swarming with reporters. We slipped in through a side entrance, but news had already spread. Staff members stared, whispered behind their hands. The boardroom was packed. Administrators, lawyers, Mom sitting front and center, face like thunder. Alicia, thank God. Tell them it's all lies. Show them your records, your perfect record. No, Mom. Alicia's voice was steady. No more lies. She walked to the front of the room. I stood beside her, hand on her shoulder. 2 years ago, I made a mistake during surgery. I was exhausted, overworked, trying to maintain impossible standards. She looked directly at Mom. I was afraid to admit I wasn't perfect, so I covered it up, and a woman named Ava paid the price. Stop talking, Mom hissed. Right now. The truth is, Alicia continued, I'm not excellent. I'm human, and humans make mistakes. The room erupted in chaos. Mom stormed out. Lawyers huddled in corners. My phone buzzed with a text from Knox. Your father would be proud, both of you. Hours later, after statements and meetings and preliminary agreements, we sat in Alicia's office one last time. She was packing her degrees into a box. Suspended pending investigation, she said. Could lose my license. Or you could get help. Prove you've changed. I picked up her old sketchbook. Maybe find other parts of yourself again. Like drawing? Like being human. Her phone lit up, Ava's number. We both stared at it. Answer it, I said. It's time. Alicia took a deep breath and picked up. Hello, Ava. Yes. I think we should meet. I have a lot to say, and even more to apologize for. When she hung up, something had changed in her face, like a weight had lifted, replaced by something else, something real. What now? She asked. Now? I opened the sketchbook to a blank page, pulled out a pencil from her desk. Now you start drawing again, start living again, start being yourself again. And Mom? Mom can learn to love an imperfect daughter. She's had practice with me. Alicia actually laughed, a real laugh, like in Dad's old photos. She took the pencil and for the first time in 20 years began to draw. The cafe was Ava's choice, neutral ground, she'd said. Alicia sat across from her, hands wrapped around an untouched coffee. I sat between them, feeling like a mediator at a peace treaty. I've imagined this moment so many times, Ava said. What I'd say, what I'd do. But now? She gestured to the sketchbook on the table. Your father showed me your art, said it was who you really were. I'm not that person anymore, Alicia whispered. No, you're not. You're the doctor who paralyzed me and the woman who tried to buy my silence. And now? Ava leaned forward. Now, who are you? I don't know. Not good enough. Ava's voice was steel. I spent 2 years learning who I am without the use of my legs. You can spend 5 minutes being honest about who you are without your perfect facade. My phone buzzed. Mom again. I'd been ignoring her calls since the hospital. She won't stop, Alicia said, noticing. She's been calling me too. Showed up at my house last night. What did she want? I asked. To tell me how I've ruined everything, how I've destroyed our family's reputation. Alicia's laugh was bitter. She brought a PR team. Of course she did, I turned to Ava. Our mother, she's part of why this happened. Not an excuse, but I know. Ava pulled out her phone, showed us a video. Mom at a charity gala, speaking about excellence, about her perfect daughter, the surgeon. Your father showed me these too. Said I needed to understand the whole story. Dad showed you a lot, Alicia said. He visited me every month, not just to gather evidence, but to help me heal, to help me understand. Ava put her phone away. He wanted me to forgive you. I don't deserve forgiveness. No, you don't, but I deserve peace. And maybe, Ava took a deep breath, maybe that starts with understanding each other. The cafe door chimed. Mom walked in, spotted us, and froze. Oh, God, Alicia muttered. Mom approached our table, her heels clicking like warning shots. What is this? Alicia, the lawyer said no contact with... Sit down, Mom, I said. I will not. This is completely inappropriate. The liability... Sit down. Alicia's voice was quiet but firm. Meet Ava. Really meet her. Mom looked at Ava like she was a bomb about to explode. But slowly, she sat. Mrs. Douglas, Ava said coolly, your husband told me so much about you. Robert? What do you mean he? He visited me, showed me videos of you pushing Alicia to be perfect, showed me what that pressure did to her. Ava's eyes were sharp, showed me how it broke both your daughters in different ways. I never broke them. I made them strong. You made me afraid, Alicia cut in, afraid to be human, afraid to make mistakes, so afraid that when I did make one, I destroyed someone's life trying to hide it. And you made me feel worthless, I added, because I couldn't be your version of perfect. Mom's hands trembled. Everything I did was for you both. No. Alicia opened her sketchbook, showed Mom the old drawings. Everything you did was for you, for your reputation, your excellence. Look at them, Ava said quietly. Really look at your daughters, one hiding her true self until she broke, one forced to run away to find herself. Is that excellence? Mom stared at the sketches, moments of joy, of creativity, of imperfect beauty captured in pencil strokes. I didn't... She touched a drawing of us as children, all three of us in Dad's garden. I never meant to. We know, I said, but meaning to hurt someone and doing it anyway. That's something we all need to face. Alicia turned to Ava. I can't undo what I did, but I can stop hiding from it. Stop pretending to be perfect. Good, Ava said, because I'm filing a formal complaint with the medical board. Not for revenge, but because it's right. Because other patients deserve to know the truth. I understand, Alicia whispered. And I'm testifying about the culture at the hospital, Ava continued. About the pressure, the cover-ups, the board's role. She looked at Mom. All of it. Mom stood up so fast her chair scraped back. I need to go. Running away won't fix this, I said. No. Mom straightened her jacket. But maybe I need to learn how to be imperfect too. After she left, Ava reached across the table and took Alicia's hand. Your father believed in second chances, not because we deserve them, but because we need them to become better. Alicia squeezed her hand, tears falling onto the sketchbook. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Ava released her hand. This is just the beginning. The hard part comes next. What's that? I asked. Learning to live with who we really are, Ava said. All of us. Ready? Angelo asked, helping me hang the last piece. The gallery walls were lined with artwork, my paintings interspersed with Alicia's sketches. In the center, a collaborative piece we'd created together. 2 butterflies emerging from their chrysalises, wings still wet but unfurling. Not really, I admitted, but that's okay. The medical board had suspended Alicia's license for 2 years, mandating therapy and supervision before she could practice again. She'd started volunteering at Ava's physical therapy center, not as a doctor, but as an art therapy assistant. The door chimed. Mom walked in, looking smaller somehow, without her usual armor of perfectionism. It's beautiful, she said, studying the butterfly piece. Both of you together. That was Dad's dream, I said. Us working together instead of against each other. More people arrived. Knox, Reese, hospital staff, local artists, and Ava, wheeling in with a bright smile and a portfolio of her own photographs. Where's Alicia? Mom asked. Here. My sister hurried in, carrying a wrapped canvas. Sorry, last-minute changes. She set up the canvas on an easel, hands shaking slightly as she unveiled it. The painting showed 3 women, Mom, Alicia, and me, but not in our usual roles. Instead, we were in Dad's garden, dirt on our knees, laughing as we planted flowers. It's not perfect, Alicia said. The proportions are a bit off, and the lighting? It's real, Mom interrupted, touching the canvas gently. That's better than perfect. Knox clinked his glass for attention. If I could say a few words? Robert left me a letter to read at this moment. The room quieted. I grabbed Alicia's hand. My dearest daughters, Knox read. If you're hearing this, you've finally found your way back to each other. Not through excellence or perfection, but through truth and acceptance. My butterflies, free at last to spread your wings. And Linda? Knox looked at Mom. My love, free at last from the cage of expectations you built around our family. This gallery showing isn't just art, it's liberation for all of you. Ava wheeled forward. Speaking of liberation, she handed Alicia an envelope. The board reviewed your case, given your honesty, the changes at the hospital, and your work at the therapy center. Alicia opened it with trembling fingers. They're reducing the suspension? 6 months instead of 2 years? With conditions, Ava said, including continuing your art therapy program. It's helping people, Alicia, not through perfect surgery, but through healing of a different kind. I watched Mom approach one of my paintings, an abstract piece expressing years of feeling inadequate. She stood there for a long time. I did this, she finally said, created so much pain trying to prevent it. We all did, Alicia said, But we're learning, growing. Together, I added. The gallery filled with visitors. I watched Alicia proudly explaining her sketches, saw Mom actually listening to people's interpretations without trying to control the narrative. Even Knox seemed lighter, as if Dad's final mission was complete. Hey! Angelo appeared at my elbow. Look who's here! In the doorway stood a group of Ava's physical therapy patients, including several who joined the art therapy program. They carried a large card signed by everyone at the center. Your father would be proud, Knox said, joining us. Not because you're perfect, but because you're authentically you. Both of you, Mom added softly. Alicia and I exchanged glances. The butterfly piece between us caught the gallery lights, making the wings seem to shimmer with possibility. I have something to show you, Alicia said. She led us to a small room off the main gallery. The walls were covered with new sketches, scenes from the therapy center, patients finding strength through art, moments of triumph and frustration captured in honest detail. In the center, a portrait of Dad in his garden, surrounded by butterflies. He always believed in second chances, Alicia said, in becoming who we're meant to be, not who we're told to be. And who are you meant to be? Ava asked from the doorway. Alicia looked at her sketches, at the healing they represented. Someone who helps people heal. Through medicine when I can, through art when I can't, through truth always. And you? Mom turned to me. Someone who shows others it's okay to be imperfect. That beauty exists in the flaws. The gallery buzzed with life and conversation. Through the windows, I could see Dad's garden at home, the flowers he planted still blooming despite everything. To Dad, I said, raising my glass, who gave us the greatest gift? The courage to be imperfect, Alicia finished. The wisdom to be real, Mom added. The freedom to fly, Ava concluded. Outside, butterflies danced through Dad's garden, their wings catching the light. Not perfect, but beautiful. Just like us, just like he always knew we could be.